Seriously.
It was done in style.
Gentry hiring local miners to carry their equipment and do all the hard work. In those days, parties of up to 20 roped together in a human chain took a whole day to cover a distance the modern caver would sprint through in 20 minutes. Now those more leisurely days have been recreated at an exhibition in Wells Museum, which follows the developments in the fashions and the techniques of the sport. Nowadays, of course, cavers use the very latest in skin diving equipment to penetrate flooded caverns deep underground. But the equipment wasn't always so sophisticated, as Neil Hughes found out.
Chris Bradshaw, you represent the Council of Southern Caving Clubs, and this rather specialised fashion display shows just a few of the items you intend to display at a new caving collection at Wells. Can you describe the items to me?
Yes, certainly. We go from the days here in the 1900 to the First World War period, when caving was very much a gentleman's sport. And unfortunately, the equipment they had was very, very limited indeed. As you can see, the ladders are extremely bulky. They used hemp ropes, which rotted easily. And the clothing was totally inadequate for long spells underground. When we moved on to the Second World War period, then we had a lot of army surplus equipment come onto the market. And we used equipment like the kerosene suit here, the anti-kerosene suit, which provided a certain amount of protection to the caver. And then we moved on. As you can see, we started to use metal ladders rather than the rope and wooden ones. And although the metal ones were in themselves fairly heavy to start off with, they were developed in this area to the stage where they became extremely light, and they're similar to the ladders that we use today.
And it was after the Second World War that you started using breathing apparatus.
Yes, that's right. To start off with, it was extremely heavy and bulky. This, in fact, belongs to the middle period of diving. Before the war, it was we used hard hats and very much homemade equipment.
Nevertheless, I imagine that this sort of equipment must have opened up whole areas of caving that you couldn't have attacked before.
Well, it certainly did. This cave Swildens was passed just before the war. In fact, a lot of the further diving was done with rebreather kit of the sort that we see today. The real development of the caving as a sport, in particular the wet systems, came with the introduction of wetsuits. The weight of the equipment has been cut dramatically now, and far smaller parties are now needed to carry the same amount of equipment that they did before.
Now, we're at Swildens Hole in the Mendips near Priddy, and this is in fact one of the longest caves in the Mendips.
Yes, it is the longest at 26,000 feet. Up to the First World War, there was only 1,000 feet discovered. To the Second World War, perhaps 3,000 or 4,000 feet. And the tremendous boom in discoveries in Swildens came with the introduction of this far superior clothing.
So in fact the fashions